Today we're going to talk about one of the most incredible organs in the entire human body, the ear. And I say that because it's actually doing two massive jobs at once. It's not just for hearing, it's also your own personal built-in gyroscope. So how on earth does it pull off this incredible double act? Let's dive in.
Seriously, have you ever really stopped to think about it? I mean, how can this one tiny, super complex organ let you hear every single note of your favorite song and at the exact same time keep you from totally wiping out while you're dancing to it? It's just an absolutely incredible piece of biological engineering.
Well, the secret is that your ear basically has two superpowers, two completely separate but connected jobs, all packed into this one tiny space. You've got hearing, obviously, and then you have equilibrium, or balance. And we're about to break down exactly how each one works.
So, the way it splits up the work is pretty clever. Hearing, that's all about taking vibrations from the air and making sense of them as sound, right? But balance, that's a whole different game. It's about sensing your body's motion, where you are in space, and while the outer and middle parts of your ear are pretty much all in on the hearing team, it's deep inside in the inner ear where both of these amazing jobs get handled.
All right, first up, let's follow the journey of sound. We're going to trace a single vibration from the second it hits the air around you all the way until your brain knows what it is.
You can really boil the whole hearing process down to three main steps. Step 1, the outer ear has to catch the sound waves. Think of it like a satellite dish. Then, step 2, the middle ear amplifies those vibrations, like turning up the volume. And finally, step 3, the inner ear converts all that movement into electrical signals, something your brain can actually work with.
Okay, so it all kicks off with the part of your ear you can actually see, the pinna. All those curves and folds, they're not just for looks. They're basically a perfectly designed funnel, catching sound waves and directing them down the auditory canal. And at the end of that tunnel is the eardrum. You can picture it exactly like the skin on a drum. When the sound waves hit it, boom, it starts to vibrate.
And this is where things get really cool. That vibration from the eardrum, it gets passed along to a team of 3 bones. And get this, they're the 3 smallest bones in your entire body. They're called the ossicles, and they're linked together in a chain, acting like tiny little levers. Their whole job is to take that first vibration and just crank up the force, big time.
So just how much are we talking about? Well, by taking all the energy from the big eardrum and focusing it down onto a tiny little spot, the pressure gets amplified something like 22 times. And that's absolutely crucial. Why? Because the next stop, the inner ear, is filled with fluid. And if you've ever tried to make a splash in a pool, you know it takes way more force to make waves in liquid than it does in air.
Okay, so now we're in the inner ear. This is the conversion station, where all that physical shaking gets turned into an electrical signal. Hidden inside this amazing little snail-shaped thing called the cochlea is something called the organ of Corti. And really, the best way to think of it is as the ear's own microphone. It's covered in thousands and thousands of tiny little hair cells, and when the waves move through that inner ear fluid, these little hairs get bent.
So how does your brain know the difference between a high-pitched whistle and a deep bass note? Well, this is just genius. Those hair cells are set up just like the strings on a harp. The short, stiff ones at the beginning of the cochlea vibrate with high-frequency sounds, and the long, floppy ones at the very end vibrate with the low-frequency sounds. When they move, they create a nerve impulse that shoots up the auditory nerve to the cerebrum, and that's when your brain finally goes, aha, that's a sound.
All right, so that's hearing in a nutshell. But what about that other superpower, the one that's just as important? Let's switch gears and look at the incredible mechanics of balance. How does this very same organ manage to keep you from falling over?
So the gear responsible for balance is called the vestibular apparatus. It's sitting right there in the inner ear, next to the cochlea, and it's basically a collection of canals and little sacs that are built-in motion detectors. And the way it works is actually pretty simple to grasp. All these parts are filled with fluid. So when you move your head, you nod, you shake it, you tilt it side to side, that fluid sloshes around. And guess what? It bumps into another set of tiny hair cells. When those cells get nudged, they fire off a signal straight to your brain, telling it exactly which way your head just moved. Now, this system is actually tracking 2 different types of balance. First, there's what you could call moving balance. Sensing rotation, like when you spin in a chair or just nod your head. That's the job of the semicircular canals. But then there's still balance, which is all about gravity, like when you just tilt your head or when you feel that lurch in an elevator. That's handled by the other parts, the utricle and saccule.
And here's a really key difference. The signals for balance go to a totally different part of the brain than the hearing signals. Hearing goes to the cerebrum, the thinking part, but balance signals, they get sent straight to the cerebellum. And that's because the cerebellum is like the brain's coordination hub. It doesn't need to think, it just acts. It immediately tells your muscles to make all those tiny little adjustments to keep you steady, and it all happens before you're even consciously aware of it.
So you have these two amazing, super precise systems, but they're not perfect. They're not infallible. So let's talk about what happens when things go wrong, when the mechanics get messed up, or the signals just get crossed.
Let's take a common hearing issue, something called glue ear. This is where a thick, sticky fluid basically gums up the works in the middle ear. Remember those 3 tiny bones, the ossicles, that need to vibrate like crazy to amplify sound? Well, this gunk literally stops them from moving freely, and that causes temporary hearing loss. The fix is often to put these tiny little tubes, called grommets, in the eardrum to let everything drain out. Okay, now for a balance problem I'm pretty sure most of us have dealt with: motion sickness. The cause is something experts call a sensory conflict. And really, all it means is that when you're spinning on a chair or sitting on a boat that's rocking back and forth, your brain is getting totally mixed signals, and it does not like it.
So what is this sensory conflict? It's basically an argument between your senses. Picture this. You're inside the cabin of a boat, and it's rocking on the waves. The fluid in your inner ear, your balance system, is sloshing around and telling your brain, hey, we're moving. And it's 100% correct. But your eyes are looking at the walls of the cabin, which aren't moving relative to you. And they're telling your brain, nope, everything's still. It's this total disagreement that freaks out your brain and triggers that horrible feeling we all know and hate, motion sickness.
And that really brings us to a final, pretty mind-blowing thought. When you think about the incredible complexity of these two systems, hearing and balance, both working together, side by side, inside this one tiny organ, what's really more amazing? The fact that every now and then things can go wrong, or the fact that for pretty much all of us, it all works perfectly every single day without us ever having to think about it at all?